GM, welcome to From A to Z, an Aavegotchi Podcast. We're going to dive right into some stuff, man. We got a lot going on. Last week was a really special episode, though, because we went for like an hour and a half. Really good alpha, really
Great,
good
energetic
information.
conversation.
Oh, you know what? I got to put my headphones on. I'm messing up the recording already. That's what we're about to talk about, how I fucked up last week's recording. So let's just talk about that right now. Yeah, here I'm about to ruin this one, but yeah, I didn't record Z-Fi. So it's a one-sided conversation. We thought about going back and doing a bad lip sync, which I don't know. I'm still thinking
Man.
let's do that. Maybe we need to sit down one day and just try to do that bad lip sync. That might be the best episode ever. Like, people might demand that we always do bad lip sync episodes.
I hope not. It's worth a shot, though. I mean, when the initial idea came up, we were pretty gassed about it, so we could give it a try.
Yeah, I mean, last week that was a great conversation. Obviously, we spent at least, I think it was 20 to 30 minutes. I think it was about 30 minutes that we spent just talking about the FTX explosion. So the people that came, though, it was a packed room. So at least there was a lot of people there. It's not like we did it to a closed room and then nobody gets to hear it. Like, we actually did it with a room full of people. So, you know.
So we say there's no proof now.
There's not,
100
well,
people were there.
no, there's
Should have seen the
proof.
crowd.
I still have a video of a bunch of people
Well,
there. It's just,
That's true. You just can't hear me talking the whole time.
right. It's
That's
just
all right.
a one-sided conversation, kind of like my roommate hears. He just hears me talking into the ether.
Always talking about crypto.
Yep.
I've got a cat here who just has to be on the episode.
That is cute. Your cats really don't like come onto the camera. I don't know what the hell I was trying to say there. They really don't come out on the camera that often. So, oh look,
I don't know what her deal
that's
is.
what Rusty does. Rusty tries to pet me.
She
Like,
wants to be
hey,
pet.
I will
Yeah.
pet you if you won't pet me, sir. That's cute. Oh man, so yeah, it's getting dark early here, and it was rainy all day, so it's been just dark, dark, dark. I mean, I love the saturated look I get from the lights here when it's like this,
True.
but it's
Nice and crisp.
yeah, totally popping,
It's hard on the energy
popping
though. Hard on.
on my crappy webcam. When am I gonna upgrade to a real camera? God damn it! I don't know. You know what's funny?
Next full cycle.
Next bull cycle. There you go. When we get sponsors, you hear that, sponsors? Pick us up. I actually have a nice camera. All I would need is like an A10 Mini or something like that, something that I could hook to the computer to use it as an input source. But I have a Nikon something.
Might be worth playing around with.
Yeah,
We've got that V2. We've got that season 2 kind of in the works.
oh yeah, season 2 is
Play around
coming.
with season 2.
Season 2 is coming. We're gonna be. I don't know how we're gonna step it up totally, but we're definitely gonna have like some intro, something, a song or something. I don't know.
We'll do something. Yeah.
We'll jazz it
We
up.
should
I
check in with
mean,
Manor. See what he's
actually,
thinking
no.
regarding-
Should I say it? We actually season 2 is probably gonna launch on a new platform. We might not even be using Discord for season 2.
I think that's about enough alpha.
That's about enough alpha. That's it. That
Stay
was the
tuned.
tweet.
Stay tuned.
That's the tweet. Speaking of tweets, man, Jesus, I posted today that I haven't had caffeine or sugar in over 48 hours, and it might be the
Pretty
most
intense.
popular tweet I made since the time that I said that we were doing an Aavegotchi Bankless Dow crossover. When I made that tweet with you, like when we first met, I mean, that was
Yeah.
mid bull cycle.
November 21. It was like the peak. Yikers.
Right. So, yeah, like this might be the first most popular. I don't know. It's just there's people are just going off on it, like,
Awesome.
about all their
Big
diets
support.
and yeah, definitely. I mean, White Ranger and Hefe were talking about it at the hangout. Maybe not this weekend, maybe the weekend before, but like their diet was to like prevent inflammation of the sciatica, and I have sciatica
Yeah.
issues. So, and I already do yoga and
With the
stuff.
diet.
So,
Yeah,
but
there
I
you go.
do spend a lot of time like right here in this position.
Hear you
You
there.
know, so got to take care of the back. I mean, I have a sit stand desk, but I don't utilize it as much as I should. So,
New
but it's
Year's
nice to have the
resolution.
option.
Yes.
All right, so what else we getting into? Should we
Well,
start
first
diving
out the
in?
gate. Yeah, first out the gate. Let's talk about the AGIPs. There's a lot of governance stuff going on right now, and a lot of potential economic changes that could impact you as a player, asset owner, or server. Gotchiverse.
Say what?
Well, tell me about it. So,
NFA, NFA.
I had a tab full of all this stuff,
He
and
lost his tabs.
my tabs are gone. My
I
tabs.
mean,
So anyway,
it
Snapshot.
feels like needless to say, not financial advice. We're talking about ghost money here.
Yeah,
Like,
digital dolls.
please don't take me seriously. This is education and
So,
entertainment. I'm sorry, I meant to
yeah,
say entertainment. Don't even learn from me. Don't learn from me.
you could if you wanted to, but don't make any financial decisions based on what you've learned. All right, we've covered all the loopholes. Head on over to Snapshot. There's one vote that just ended last night, and two more that end in 3 days. All of them impact kinship or channeling. So the one that just finished last night with a pass, with a passing vote or whatever, this is the proposal to turn on the original mechanics for kinship. So originally, as the Gotchiverse was designed, kinship was supposed to be something that depleted. As you channeled, it would use up some of your kinship. And in order to get that kinship score back up, it just incentivizes additional interaction with the Gotchiverse. For whatever reason, it wasn't implemented early on, and the proposal was just posted and passed to implement that mechanic. So how that's going to work is heading rules are the same. You got a question? Hit me with your question.
I was just gonna ask if you have some context around when that originally passed.
Yesterday.
I thought like, okay. I
I
thought you
think
were
this was
saying that
part
it
of the
passed.
original plan. I think this was
Okay.
part of the original plan, like from Pixelcraft, when they were designing the economics of gotchis and kinship and all that. But it wasn't implemented at that time for whatever reason. They like opted out of it.
I think I don't know if it's my fault or what's going on, but I feel like you're a bit low in the mix.
Might be me. Is that any better? I'm just probably
That's
too
much
far from the
better.
mic.
That's way better.
I was too far from the mic. That's my B.
All right.
Thank you for the heads up. So the first one here, the one about kinship, is it passed yesterday. I don't know when it'll be implemented, but it was to spend kinship points by channeling. So the
Right.
petting rules stay the same. You don't pet all day, you lose a point. You pet twice, you can gain 2 points. And if you channel, you spend 4 points. So you can pet twice and channel for a net daily cost of 2 kinship, or you can let the kinship build up, not take the UBI that day, and increase your score. You follow?
Yeah.
And that's it. Like there's no other A, B, C, D. That is the core of the change. Personally, I like it for a couple of reasons.
So
One, that gives some flexibility that the leaderboard that we have for rarity farming, for kinship, XP, BRS, it's been pretty stale. It's like if you were already at the top, you've been at the top and you're staying at the top. Not a lot
do
of
you
movement
think
there
that
unless you
people
ape
that
it.
are already on that board are going to risk it?
What do you mean? Spend the kinship?
Yeah. I think if
Some
I've
maybe.
already been on the kinship board, I'm not going to risk it. The day you put this in effect, I stop channeling because I'm not going to risk any position I have there.
That's the incentive. So there's a new layer of strategy. One, not every altar and every gotchi is going to be channeling every day. we're not going to have this same predictable, steady 100% participation of emissions. People will have to opt into the UBI and balance that against potential increases in either future rarity farming or other uses of kinship. Now, I think there was
Interesting.
something, I don't remember if this was the same proposal, but there was also a bit somewhere in one of these 3 proposals to then reward kinship with like a higher movement speed or something like that.
Yeah, I saw
Some
that. I saw that
auxiliary
there was like
alternative
multiple layers.
compromise.
That was in another AGIP though, right?
Okay, cool. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. I was pretty sure that the kinship one was just pure spend a kinship. There's one of the AGIPs, the one of the AGIP 49s has
That would be the
multiple like
replacement for
ABCP.
AGIP 49.
Correct. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, so that's the kinship proposal that has completed and passed. Looks like we're going to be spending our kinship. Backing back up, AGIP 49 was the original proposal posted by, I think, Mark and Phantasma.
Correct.
This is the one to...
I pulled it up.
Yeah, it's like completely stop channeling. The choices are... I don't want to misspeak. I'm going to pull this tab up. Give me a moment.
I believe it was to increase spillover by 100% on each level. Essentially doubling it. So if you were at a level 2, if you were at a level 1, you get 0 for channeling.
Okay.
If you're at a level 2, you get 90% spillover instead of 45% that you were getting at a level 2. So essentially,
so that one
like,
forces you to upgrade your altar in order to
right.
keep
So like
whatever
I'm
your
at a
original...
level 5 on my highest altar, and so that means my spillover would be 60%. It would automatically double. And it does it at every level. So even a level 9, which is 10%, would go to 20%.
All right, so on this one, there's only 2 choices. Change, as they've proposed the changes, or do nothing. Now on this one, I don't particularly like this solution. I think this is maybe not attacking the root of the issues that we have and might be more of a short-sighted, like unnecessary but also permanent change to our game mechanics. I voted no change on, do nothing on this one.
I think that Coder Dan said any of these things are not permanent. The DAO can always change UBI. We can always decide.
Okay, cool.
If we want, same thing I guess with spillover is we can decide to turn spillover back on. It's just that the large majority of people or the large majority of bags don't want it on.
Got it. All right, so that is that's the first AGIT 49. That one ends looks like November 18, 12 p.m. I'm guessing UTC. Doesn't have a unit on there, but that's the AGIT 49 as posted. There is also an alternative AGIT 49 called Replaces AGIT 49, authored by Coder Dan. Yes, authored by Coder Dan, and this one has multiple options for the poll. This is the one that gives 1, 2, 3, and 4 changes. One of the options is to do 1, 2, and 3. One of the options is to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the third option is to continue with whatever Mark and Phantasma's original AGIT proposal comes out to be. That one finishes just before this one finishes. Like minutes, maybe. Hours, maybe.
I'm at
And
the
date.
GMI parcel, by the way, just to...
Okay, gotcha. I am not even in the verse right now.
If anybody feels like joining me.
So keep an eye on these proposals. Read them. I encourage you to vote. However you feel, I encourage your vote for participation. But after reading through these and after kind of contemplating how we can best solve the issue that we have, our sinks versus emissions, I didn't think any of these were awesome or the best route either, personally. My my initial vote on Agate 49 is do nothing. Therefore, I would like to continue doing nothing, like make no changes and let the market kind of figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we have the kinship spending, the kinship proposal in the mix, we have to see what the changes of that does first before we implement any
That is
more
so much more
changes.
interesting. As Yannick was saying, that is more of a game mechanic than messing with tokenomics. And,
Absolutely.
I think also the problem here is you do everything at once, what happens? Like, you move too many
You don't
levers
know
at
what
one time,
fixed. Exactly. You
you
might
know?
fix something, but you don't know what it was. You might break stuff while you fix stuff, or you might just break
Um,
everything.
I don't
I like the
remember.
isolated variables.
I think I voted no to AGIP 49, but I may have. I don't know. I may have voted for one of these Coder Dan options. I don't recall at the moment.
That was
However,
my
oh, it
backup
says
plan.
right here, continue
Yep.
with the outcome of AGIP 49. Okay, so
So there you
yeah.
go. I
Pass
have not
fail,
voted on this one
basically.
yet. I have not voted on this one yet because I want to make sure that if I vote for continue with the outcome of the other one doesn't get swung at the last minute and I end up trapping
So you're
myself
gonna
on the
be
wrong side of both.
watching it close to see what happens. Look at you,
I
governance
won't.
machine.
Right?
It's a governance machine.
I'm too
That's
deep
why we're
now. I
doing
can't
this,
half-ass
man.
it.
That's why we're
Right?
doing this.
Right.
Like, I mean, you're good at this shit, man. And like,
I'm getting there. I feel
you
like
know,
I'm getting there. So with that proposal, this is the one that had the 4 options. If I had to pick a backup option other than do nothing, the option to implement changes 1, 2, and 3 would be my choice. And since
yeah,
we've got the
4 is
time,
just a bit
I'll
weird.
run
I
through them
don't
quick.
know what that is like. If that, I don't know. That's the one for the traits, right?
That's the one that does the movement speed boost. It's like a handoff or as a trade off. So I'll just run
I
through
mean, it is
the 1 through 4
interesting.
options here.
Yeah, go for it.
So the Coderdan proposal would like to do 4 things. Number 1 is disable alchemical channeling completely, except for one full day during the week, probably Saturday, just because of the hangouts.
Mm-hmm.
Spillover would be enabled for alchemical channeling, and doing that, like reduce it to 1 day thing, would drastically cut the inflation coming from collective channeling. Everybody all week long. The second thing they want to do is enable spillover for reservoirs always. 24/7 for the reservoirs only spillover would be on. The idea behind that is Alchemica stored inside parcels is limited, and landowners should have a claim to the Alchemica stored inside, rather than harvesting and then a portion of it just disappears.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I do
hard to plan
like
around.
that part of it. Like, I do like both of those. Like, if you're gonna turn on channeling, it should be during the hangout, and if and you should enable spillover all the time for reservoirs, because then that does
That's
give
your
individual
yield.
landowners a sense of gameplay, a sense of something you can do. Like,
And it's a direct yield on investment. The UBI was never meant to be a yield, it was meant to be a UBI. It was meant to
well,
be a
not
trickle.
just that, but yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm thinking more just for like GMI. Like for GMI, we could throw an event on a Thursday if we want. Like we could do spillover right now if we wanted to. If we could, if we had like farms built out on the GMI estate, like we could empty the reservoirs for whoever comes to hang out.
And it wouldn't have to be done during the hangout on Saturday.
Exactly. So
So I
that's what
like
I
that
was
piece.
thinking is more like the community part of it. But you're right. It is your yield. You should have access to that. And
It's
having
directly tied to the land that you invested in for the yield. You
right.
know,
Because in that way, it is unfair. Like, I only enter my reservoirs during the hangout, but anybody who can't be available during those 2 hours has to just deal with, the loss.
and I have completely stopped emptying my reservoirs altogether because I don't know where my channeling or my spillover is going. And until I know where it's going, I'm not going to send anything to wherever it is. So I'm just going to keep leveling my altars, leveling my reservoirs, and by the time I do start extracting from my reservoirs, it will be um, at a higher rate to me versus
Right.
into this.
Well, that's why I do it at the hangout, you
Yeah,
know, as part of the
get your
parade
space.
lately. But yeah, like, if I'm going to be spilling it, at least it's to like me and the community, the people who show up to hang out.
The friends.
The friends. That's what we're in it for, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean,
So
it's
the
hard
number
to be
three
called
thing.
Moon Boys at this point, right?
Is it? I'm still. I mean, I'm not looking to dump anything anytime soon. I feel like Aavegotchi has a moon to reach still.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We're
I'll
nowhere
wait.
near the top or the bottom.
We might be near the bottom. But we're not.
Well, I hope we're close to the bottom, but
I hope.
you know, but yeah.
Yeah, without getting too dark and gloomy there. Number 3, we'll get back on track here. The third thing that this proposal wants to do is to allow an 100% refund for demolishing altars. Since it's a large adjustment, the idea is to allow parcel owners to update their strategies according to this change without getting completely wrecked on what they've invested into their altar. So if you need to switch parcels or consolidate, you'd still have to disassemble all of the other things on your property, but the altar would give you 100% back. And the fourth thing is boosting movement speed and hit points for high kinship gotchis. Since it was tied to alchemical channeling yield, the kinship, without channeling, the idea is that the mechanism of kinship would no longer function. I disagree with that because tell me what XP does. This would make kinship act like XP.
Right.
Doesn't
I
make
mean,
it
it would
not
just
function.
it would put it back into the speculative bucket. What are we going to do with kinship? That's kind of where XP
Yeah, I
is right now.
suppose.
It's like, what are we going to do with XP? What does it really mean?
But people don't hate it.
Right.
You know what I mean? People
No,
still
I
want
get
XP.
his point though, is that since it already has a utility, if you rug that utility,
I see.
does it become
Like the going
speculative or does it
backwards.
become rugged? Like, I think this is a bad way to word it though. You could have easily said, we will rethink, you could have easily put in a caveat there saying we can rethink, but this is what he's putting out there to say this would be the trade-off. But we could always say, well, no, I don't like this trade-off. How about we just leave it as a blank slate for now and figure it out later, much as what we've done with eyes and double myths and things like that. Some
I
things
do
we've come to and
appreciate.
can't agree, and we say, all right, we'll come to it later.
Right. I do appreciate that a solution was given in parallel to, and here's a problem that I was observed, and here's how we fix it in the same bucket instead of just
Right,
we're
exactly.
gonna have a problem with that. Good luck, you know. So I do appreciate that, and the idea behind it is that if your gotchi can move faster, you've got a higher chance of collecting more alchemica. Because you can't increase your alchemica yield by channeling. The trade-off is to be able to increase your alchemica gathering abilities to potentially offset.
Oh, I didn't even see it that way, but okay. Yeah.
It doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
So in this case, I'd rather just nope the whole batch, see what the kinship spending change does, and see what the market does. If we're seeing gas come up as high as it's come, and we're seeing alchemica go down as low as it's gone, we're going to get pretty close to the point where people decide to stop channeling because it's no longer incentivized.
Right. Well, I mean,
And then we
even
can work on rebuilding.
No Futuristic said he doesn't rent anymore. It's
Yep.
not profitable to rent, so he stopped. He said the channel no more at the Dow call. The channel was no more.
You got to
So,
do what you got to
I mean,
do. You got to adjust your strategies. And I think that is just what we need to let play out. Personally, I'm no economist, but I don't think the very bottom of a bear market with everyone going insolvent at the same time is a good time or a good incentive to be changing the core mechanics and functionality of the game.
You
You
know,
know,
you're very right. I understand this as a musician, for instance, and I was trying to tell my buddy Matt, who's a painter, an oil painter, and the reality is in bear markets, the first thing to go is art. Like, period. First
Not
thing that
needed.
you stop buying music, you stop paying for movies, you cut out subscriptions, you tighten the belt, you like that's the first thing that goes. You ditch as much excess entertainment as you can because that's the expenditure that you don't need.
Yep.
And that's what we are. We're a game, and we're a game that doesn't even have a lot of the game. So, I would say, like, what is against what I'm saying is the fact that video games do just fine in bear markets, but well, not as far as being produced because nobody's dumping money into new games, but like games are being played in a bear market the same as in a bull market. So if this game was more launched, then we might not see this same, but we might still see the same drop in price just because like people might still get forced out by the macro, their personal lives, whatever.
Yep.
I just think we're in a poor environment for all of it, and the first things to go are entertainment. The hardest thing to launch in a bear market is, asking people for money when they're having time putting food on the table, you know?
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So we do have to take some of these things, like the dropping price of Alchemica and the, pricing on fake cards or fake gotchis. Like, we have to keep this in mind. Or maybe not even pricing, just the volume. We're not in a very liquid market. There's not a lot of money out there to buy these, quote, unnecessary things.
Yeah.
So, do I think it'll turn around? Well, yeah. I mean, Aavegotchi as a protocol is pretty strong, I feel like. Even if the community wavers because prices go down or people disagree about whatever, I don't think anything we're experiencing right now is like signing off on the death of Aavegotchi.
Well,
I don't see it. There's a ton of FUD and I don't see it.
no, you're right, because the bottom line is we've watched GMI do its best work in the bear market. Like,
All the
we
way down.
really kicked it off. Like, as things started sliding down, we grabbed a toboggan and fucking got boogieing.
Let's have some fun on the way down, right? Let's do community stuff. We might not be up only, but at least let's have fun, fun up only.
Oh, man.
So
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
I'm not leaving. I'm still scooping deals. I got a 21 ghost humble between the two friend zone spacious headquarter parcels that I couldn't be happier about. 21 ghosts. Somebody just like paper handed that. It's a corner. There's roads on two sides of it. I couldn't
So
not.
jelly,
So
man. You
still scooping. I'm not
look,
leaving.
man. You are a visionary for the Gotchiverse because you are gonna end up owning every roadside at some point. Like, it's gonna be.
That's the goal. That's the goal. I want to own both sides of every road. If you
I
want to talk
mean,
to the roadies, you go through me.
with any luck, it's gonna be me and you because
I kid.
you're not getting mine. I know that much.
If the Gotchiverse goes to 0, I'm going to keep buying up parcels till I own most of the Citadel because I just like playing around. So I'm not worried about any of it. I'll just keep scooping. That's how I feel. Community's
Right?
strong, talent's strong, and the protocol's strong. The market blows. Adjust accordingly. Just scoop and wait. If you can afford to. I obviously know, sometimes you can't afford to and you have to sell and do what you got to do. I get it, but I wouldn't be panic selling. Just don't see it. I don't see the reason for it.
But
Anyway,
I don't know. Maybe some people. I wouldn't doubt that some people have been in profit for a long time, and that selling some things even at these prices is maybe not ideal, but it's not
it's
taking a
not down,
loss, or
right?
yeah, or
A
even
lot
if
of
it
ghosts
is
came in at
a loss on
67.
this one trade, maybe it's not a loss overall.
Exactly. There's definitely still health left. And because we're still here actively addressing any particular issues we come across, that's a good sign, Even if we're slow to address our issues, we're addressing them, not just letting everything go to 0. So I'm bullish, I'm not terribly liquid, but I'm bullish.
Well, that's always the problem in bear markets, and especially this one is especially down with macro and war and all the other shit. But
And then once you're down, you get kicked again, and then you get kicked again.
yeah, it's like of course you need more capital when it's down. Like when you're bullish and the market's like this, you don't get afraid. You're just like, man, I wish I had more capital. Like I wish I was, or I'm just an idiot. Like, damn, I wish I could. It's like that meme.
I'm not convinced either way about myself yet. It could be the second one.
Oh man, hold on. I'm gonna drop a meme. You can go ahead and carry on while I'm searching.
I just popped open chat. I saw Phases in here. Duke P's in here. Billy Bishop? No, it's last week.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes. I mean, it's kind of how I feel. I have a huge portion of my portfolio in ghost dolls.
Right?
And I'm comfy. I mean, whatever. It's fun to do bad things.
Yeah, me trying to explain to my mom what my podcast is about.
I tried to explain Aavegotchi to my mom too, and wasn't having it.
Or even worse, me trying to explain to my credit union whom I need a loan from.
And what do you need to use this money for? Oh, I'm gonna buy JPEGs.
Oh man, he dropped on the turkey alpha. Oh, have you seen the turkeys?
Yeah, I think we're gonna get some more PvE.
Bruh. Holy crap. I mean, that one's pretty wild too, because like this isn't even an international holiday. So what do you think? It's gonna be Black Friday? Or is it gonna be, maybe it's gonna be the Saturday normal hangout?
That makes sense.
It probably won't be on Thanksgiving. I wouldn't imagine.
Not gonna get a high turnout if it is.
I mean, unless they wait until late like they did last time. And that's if everybody's still awake after their tryptophan naps.
Passed out from turkeys.
Big titty turkeys.
I'm excited to smash some more stuff. So,
hell yeah.
Next week? That's coming up fast. Is that Thursday? Friday?
No, not that quick.
Yeah. Next Thursday is Thanksgiving. A week from 2 days.
Next Thursday. Oh, you're right. Holy crap. It's already the 15th.
My birthday.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday. I'll see you
Not today. Yeah, Thanksgiving. I get to eat a bunch. I get to just force feed myself to death for Thanksgiving. Almost every year. Shifts a couple days.
Yep, you got to get your turkey badge. Everybody don't forget to use all your gotchis so you can get your turkey badge.
Yeah, rotate through your gotchis, tag anybody you can.
The only thing I would say that probably hurts you on is the leaderboard.
If you care.
Yeah, if you're caring about getting high on the leaderboard, then you need to go in hard with one gotchi because then you're going to get all of your hits on one gotchi. Whereas a leaderboard's rigged. Everything's rigged, man. This is crypto, right?
Just buy your way up the leaderboard if you want.
Oh man.
Well, I think we covered the snapshot list pretty well. I want to close this tab. We can pivot out.
Hell yeah. We're about halfway anyway. Let's move.
All right.
33 minutes in.
So what do we got next?
What do we have next? I don't know. We didn't make notes. I just made a Lynn's post. It was like, there's our notes for today. There you go. Well, I guess we can either we got the fake gotchi raffle and we've got the Dow mission. Which one do we want to tackle next? They're both big conversations, I feel. I'm not sure which one is shorter.
Let's tackle the fake gotchis first.
All right.
So, fake gotchis, friendly art, karmic experience. Feels like friendly hasn't come into play yet. Shit is vicious out there right now. I don't know if you guys are seeing it. We're seeing flags on everything. People cutthroat in chat. Friendly hasn't kicked in
I think that is the first time I've gotten fired up in chat. Like, I'm, usually pretty cool. or quiet. I don't say much. I got fired up.
I was
Love
following
it.
the weekly Hangout chat today and yesterday. It was all the same. It was just on loop, but lots of drama. Lots of drama.
Well, I mean, I wrote an article about AI specifically, like, and it's definitely out of the scope of this conversation, but like, I have some very strong views and like, I don't think it's necessarily just opinion based. Well, it is. It's a cross, I guess you could say. There's definitely a lot of facts in there, and there's definitely some opinions in there. But so it's not specifically just with art, but I do see the existential crisis of artists to feel like artificial intelligence can't do what I can do, and I think to some degree that is ego, because I think it's wise to know when a tool can do something better than you and still recognizing it's a tool and not letting using a tool make you dull, but
I see
also
what you mean.
don't get your feelings hurt that the tool might do things better than you. It was made to do it better. It's like when we first made like those chess computers. Like,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like a chess computer should be better than a human or it's a crappy computer.
Right, it hasn't been programmed well enough. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I definitely think that there is, definitely some magic to creation within humans that, like, obviously, especially at this stage, AI and computers don't have anything on us in that way. And that's why I'm saying there's no
It's gonna
reason to
come quick though.
have. Yeah, yeah, and that's part of what my article is about how quickly it is going to come. Like you think, oh, how cute, but it's going to learn faster than you think.
It
And
will be exponential. And
well, the
before we
other
know it,
thing
it will
is,
be telling us that it is complete.
it's only, okay, first we're building these AIs for whatever, manufacturing, different things, whatever it might be. Like already we use machines to talk to other machines. Like if you're like, like what 3D Slaps is doing with his 3D stuff. You use one program to talk to another program to get the machine to do what you want. It still takes a lot of artisanship and things like that. There's going to come a point where like you don't need a human to tell one machine to tell the other machine. And especially with blockchain technology and the ability to like put currency and transactions in some of these things, you would actually should be able to theoretically you could almost manufacture things like print on demand or whatever like that at the click of a credit card, because like when you
Right.
do it, it will
Order comes through,
automatically
you
tell the
print what you
factory
need.
to start your order, no human involved. Like blockchain
Interesting.
actually makes that stuff more likely, because then no one could DDoS attack your factory and literally just make it pump out a bunch of dicks.
Right. And if they do, they've already paid for them, so you're still in the green.
Exactly. If you're in the green, if someone DDoS attacks you with a bunch of dick transactions, then like you might have just made a mill on that. So good for you.
Congrats, right?
Literally
But
eggplanted into the next tax bracket.
I think that went a little off track, but I get where you're going with
Definitely.
the AI. But yes, the AI is definitely the hot topic, it seems. No AI, no low effort, even perceived no low effort, and you better have nailed your Gotchi reference. How many got
The
flagged? Was
gotcha
16?
reference thing is killing me too, because like some of these things, like Liz
Close.
Lele's is clearly a gotchi. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I guess she should have put a flower in the forehead, and that would have made it like one step closer. Like maybe that was it. Like just missing the collateral killed it. Like, but you
At
know,
least.
I mean, that's yeah, just
There
my
were some
opinion. You
there were
know,
some in there that were ghost related, like
and
they
I
were
don't
ghost
want to
stuff.
be that person to point at others where I go, well, what about this one? Like, I'm not going to do that. But there's others where I'm like, this doesn't feel. If that's not, why is this? Like, there's
That's what
some.
the flag is there for. It should be definitively Gotchi. So If you don't feel that it is, you flag it, and if you do feel that it is, you obviously don't flag it. But if enough people don't feel that it is, then it's going to get reviewed.
I
And
guess for
ultimately, it will be up
me,
to PC. It'll be up to Pixelcraft to decide.
I guess I just would have to like, I don't know. For me personally, I guess I would just have to really be invested in it to be like, I cannot see this, and I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm just not that strong feeling about it. So it is what it is.
It is interesting, though. We had just under half, I think. Just under half of the first 30 submissions were flagged and removed.
Well, the
So the
one thing
burn is real.
yeah, and okay, so if these cards are gone forever, that's what's happening, right? These fake gotchi cards are
You
burned and
burn the
gone
card to get
forever.
into the queue. Yeah.
So there
Just to get
is
into the
no
queue.
like do over. There is no like PC letting you resubmit and
I
try
don't know
again.
that for sure. Based on what I saw in the discussion in weekly hangouts, it might have been a case where, like, if an artist was close, they might have been asked to resubmit, but I don't know. I don't know the details of that, and I don't know if it required another card. But I do know that it requires a card to get into the queue before you even get
Right.
like flags or reviews.
So see, that's where I
So you're
don't like
risk it.
this because now you are literally incentivizing people to throw flags. Because the more cards that
Yep,
get burnt, the more valuable the cards are, and the more valuable the art that does get through is.
exactly.
And
Anyone
that's
holding cards, especially people who were airdropped a bunch of cards that didn't cost them anything and are only being airdropped because they're already at the top of whatever other leaderboard. All of those cards increase in value as the queue burns them.
right
Everyone in the community holding a card is financially incentivized
to
to
throw
burn
flags.
as many queued cards as possible.
Yeah.
Whether or not the art is good, the economic incentive there is to burn every card. So that's not awesome.
FaZe is saying that some rejected submissions are possibly getting a replacement card, but where would those come from? Can't be too many, right? Right.
Either Pixelcraft's 35 or someone's personal stash from being airdropped
Or
off
it's
the leaderboard.
not, I mean, this is, as a misaligned incentive, it should be maybe there for them to be able to actually remint cards only in that instance. That, like, you are being returned your card for the rejection. Here's your refund.
Ah,
Refund cards,
so there is
basically.
still only ever the same number in existence. They can just replace one
Exactly.
at the. Maybe that's what they're doing. Like I said, I don't know the details, but I see where that could be a useful.
I mean, that would be, in my opinion, the fairest thing to do because
Yeah.
giving people the chance to, like, throw, to basically throw under, like, it. I would be afraid to put anything under the guillotine. I would be really, like, I'd be shopping it. Like, you'd ruin the element
Cost
of
you $50.
surprise for one, because I
Yep.
would definitely at that point be posting it on Lens and Twitter and wherever to be like, is this going to work? Or are you going to flag me if I do this? Like, I would definitely be trying to get community permission before putting myself up there. And,
Which is the opposite of what this space should be incentivizing. Like permissionless is where it should be. I get it. We've got to have Pixelcraft's got to cover their butt to make sure they're not getting sued for promoting whatever material, but I just haven't loved how it's played out.
yeah.
Some sick cards, though. Don't get me wrong. There is some art coming through that's like bangers
To
where
be
I just wish I had
fair,
a chalk
I
out of
will
ghosts.
give the one big caveat with the AI stuff is that you have to know the rules of the platform and be sure that the person submitting is abiding by the rules. Otherwise, by proxy, the fake gotchi is breaking the law or whatever. Like it's breaking
Right. Midjourney will tell
the
you
terms of agreement.
specifically.
Let's not say the law.
There it
Yeah.
is. In the
Um,
terms of a TOC, what is it called? Maybe that's the
TOS.
term. TOS, that's it. Terms of service. In Midjourney's terms of service, I think you have to be subscribed to the pro version to even be able to monetarily or commercially collect on your art
Right.
generated.
With Dali, it's much looser because with Dali, it's basically like if you um alter it, it's yours. So
It's
if
very clear.
yeah, it's very clear that like if you alter this thing, if you make, I mean, obviously the more drastic the changes, the better it looks on you. If I mean, I don't know if it would be considered enough alteration, for instance, if I wanted to use it for an album cover to just slap my name on it and be like, boom, Zombie Shepherd. See, I changed it. Like now it's mine. That might
think
not be
I
enough.
think it would. I think it would.
Um,
I'll bet
the
you the
other
issue is it can't come right out the protocol. It can't come right out of the algorithm. I'll
And
bet
the
you if you
other
put your
part
name on
is
it or
that you
your
have to
face.
give attribution. And
Mm,
even if you monetize it, you have to give attribution. And even if they allow you to monetize it, they can still say later, like, hey, we actually don't approve of this, because you may
which would
use
not
it.
be
They
good.
reserve that right because you may use it in a context that makes Dali or whatever OpenAI not look good. So I do understand that with AI and these things, we are in a murky area, and it's probably best to just avoid it. My more personal issue was that, like I said, feeling like people are incentivized to throw these flags. And then on a more like artistic and I guess philosophical personal note, I just didn't like the type of like vitriol people have towards essentially what is a tool. um
Right. And
I'm
even each other.
40, and I've seen a lot of waves of like music technology, and I've seen the way people act about it, and to me I just see it as this is another thing, like people get their pitchforks out.
Everyone needs to calm down.
you know
And there's plenty of ways to do AI art tastefully or to use it to augment hand drawn or digitally drawn art.
or even using it to
I
brainstorm.
think, and yeah, that's another good one.
I
I
mean,
think
I
it'll
made
come
some
down. I
things
think that
in
the hate will
Dali. Yeah, I made some things in Dali that I gave to Gerline and was just like, oh, check out these like kind of inspirations because we're working on, a series, and I've never been able to do that with her, communicate visually. Like I can only communicate in the form of writing and talking and music. And so being able to like actually, have something easily drawn out that I can just send her an image and be like, hey, check that out. Instead of also me like Google referencing some other reference, I can actually get more accurate in some cases. Because that's the interesting thing about these things is they're literally just referencing the world. Like this is a pop culture image. Whatever you
Mhm.
type in, it's going to be the most popular
It's the
search.
average of, yeah,
Yeah.
Google image for that thing.
So yeah, that was more my personal thing. Not to get back in that rant, but
That's all right. I think the moral of the story, the TLDR of it all is you better have a hot piece to test the queue right now because people are watching and very defensive.
so you did
Maybe
mention
though,
though,
but like just a heads up.
it hasn't been really friendly. When does the karmic part kick into that?
When does the karmic yeah, right? We're gonna find out that everybody who's flagged a piece loses kinship in a month or something
I
like that,
mean,
Who knows?
seriously, like that's where it almost feels like, you may not want to piss off the community before you go put a piece up there. Like, you may not want to be on the wrong side of popularity when you go.
It is very much that right now. You
And
could
I
have a piece
saw a
that
lot of people
qualifies and people will
complaining
vote you
that they
down because
didn't
they don't
want
like
some
you.
no name artist getting in. And it was like, whoa, like now we got to have a name? I got
That's
a
what we're
fake
here
gotchi
for.
card. Like, I didn't know I had to be somebody. Shit. Like,
Too many gates. Too many gates. We need to tone it down and be a little more friendly. It's got to follow the rules. Like the rules are fucking simple. It's got to be gotchi, got to be original, NSFW, not NSFW. Like those are very simple rules.
that was funny too. Yeah, like, I told Gerline about the whole thing. I was telling her about what happened Saturday, and oh look, she just popped in. Um,
Hey,
I was telling her about what happened Saturday, and oh crap, I lost my whole thought. Went blank.
it happens. That's all right.
She popped in, distracted me, and that was it.
we have 10 minutes left all of a sudden, so that's okay, and we've still got one more topic to maybe touch on.
Oh yeah, I remember.
You want me to pivot and let you
gatekeeping?
Go ahead.
Gatekeeping. I remember it.
Yeah.
I was saying like, hey, this isn't here for us to be gatekeepers. That wasn't the point of the flags. And you know, people were like, how are we gatekeeping? And I was like, this is literally the definition. And she said the same thing when I'm telling her. She's like, that's literally the definition of gatekeeping. Like, there's a gate and you're keeping it.
It's a 50 ghost gate, and the only way to get through is to pay it.
Right?
And then you have to have a card that passes these 3 checks.
That's it. She caught us. We were talking about her. She caught us. But yeah, you're right. We actually have a good bit still to cover. Not that we have to end it at an hour, but obviously, like, you know. I mean, the other part, too, is... Uh-oh.
Did you see FaZe? I'm going to shut up. I want FaZe on
can we play audio? I mean, I'm recording, so if you don't want it to be in the podcast, I wouldn't do that.
We'll do it after we...
but it could also be alpha for... Oh, okay, cool, yeah. Because then anybody who actually gets this far into the podcast will get some alpha. Yeah, I guess... How do you want to do it? What's your plan?
Jump up. He's going to drop it in here. You can stream it too if you want. You can open up your mic and cam and whatever. It's no big deal.
Oh.
Audio file.
See, the thing is, if I press play, y'all won't hear it. So we would just have to sit here in silence and pretend we're listening to it. Although y'all can all press play on your own computer for that duration and listen to it.
I can make it work. Hang on. Give me a sec.
Because I can hit play and then, you know, it'll be on the recording. And then when we're done, I'll just tell you to erase it. And I won't save it. You'll know because it's on the recording. So you'll be able to see if I clicked it.
I think I removed my setup. I had a picture-in-picture setup where I could play something else. And I could port over the audio, but I'd have to recreate it. Anyway, I'd be happy to listen to it myself, even if we can't stream it.
Yeah. Well, no, I'll get it in the recording, but everybody will also have to listen on their own end, or you'll just be sitting here watching me listen to it. So he's going to put the file in there, and we just have to press play all at the same time, pretty much, and then we'll come back at the same time.
I got it. I'm ready.
But yeah, like, we'll do it like music videos, where you just pretend that you're doing it. Speaking of which, while we're waiting on that, like, I recorded myself playing drums earlier. Like I was telling you, I got the camera, so I set up the camera on a tripod. I also set up my phone. It's a little bit of an older camera. Gerline, you remember what model that is? It's a Nikon something or other. But yeah, I did. The point of being an older camera is it only does 5 minutes of video at a time, so... D90, there you go. It's a good camera, but the video features are lacking. 720 and all. Cool. All right, let's jam this. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we're doing it.
1, 2, 3, click. Oh, he already launched it. All right, I'm into it. A banger. I'm trying to picture the animation. Is it going to be lagging again?
I recognize that. Nice.
I like it. headphones suck, so it took a second to get it, but it's all there now. I love it. Big fan.
Oh man, that was awesome. Thanks for that, Alpha. Man. And that's what I was
So
going to
there's
say. Like, maybe I need to move Zombie Time Music Hour up closer, and we need to just run these concurrent, man. Like, instead of me, like, having that down hour or whatever, maybe we just need to go into it. And,
Did you want to do business on Tuesday and jams on Friday, or jams on both days?
well, I've been doing the music business on Tuesdays. And
Yeah.
then, but I mean, there's no reason it can't have jams. And really, it's not like it doesn't have to be just about music business. I'd like to talk about Lynn's. You know, there's a lot of other things that can be talked about and still be in the realm of, you know, things. It's also why I'm thinking about having one YouTube channel instead of breaking out into a separate music channel. I'm thinking that I need to just keep it all in one spot and, you know,
I think that's probably the way to do it.
yeah.
There's some overlap between your content types, and I think having one active channel is the way.
At least
The way.
until I get to that level in Twitch. There's a level in Twitch at which your videos don't erase anymore.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, so once I get to that level of Twitch success, then maybe I can think about separating my content. But for now, if I don't put it on YouTube and or download it later, then it disappears from Twitch. So yes, all those extra steps of downloading things and things. You want to drop us some like production notes? Tell us how you did this. Tell us a little bit of behind the scenes on that. And then Z-Fi, if you wanna move on to our last piece.
We could skip it, but I do want to mention it. I think it's worth mentioning. We don't have to discuss it necessarily in the call today, but I think it's worth highlighting and getting on people's minds for everyone to be brainstorming, thinking. So I'll drop it. I'll hit it. Whatever. So
Hit it.
the DAO, the Aavegotchi DAO, is right now working to establish language to define the mission and vision of the DAO itself. What does the Aavegotchi do? What Aavegotchi DAO do? What is it there for? What do we value about the space that means we need a DAO? Like, what do you see the DAO doing? There's so many questions right now swirling that people are trying to answer and solidify and, like I said, put language to so that we can get a better idea of where to go in the future. Right now, at the bottom of the market, we've lost a lot of people who have, for whatever reason, either exited the space with their attention or exited the space by liquidating their assets. For whatever reason, we've lost people. But we're down here, and the people who are still here at the bottom of the bear are the ones that are going to shape the next bull run. The ones that are still here building are going to be the ones that are propelling what's left into the future. The ones that are still here and trying to fix stuff are going to be the best equipped to do it. They've seen the space, they've experienced the space, they know who's in it, they know generally how things work. Right now, we need whoever's still here thinking about this stuff. What is it about Aavegotchi that like pulls you in? Why Aavegotchi? Why not Axie? You know, like, why are you here specifically? That's the type of stuff that we need to know. And then, where do you think we should be headed? If you're happy to be here, why? Is it because we're headed someplace? Is it because we're doing something right? Like, what do you feel is the ultimate goal? Where do you want to see us? Where do you want it to be? And what values do you want us to, like,
The
focus
values
around,
part,
you know?
I think, is interesting because, especially with what we've seen out of the DAO throughout the bear market, Because okay, so it's funny because when you think about mission, vision, values, it's a very like kind of corporate, it's a corporate meme.
It feels canned. It feels plastic, but it's
Um,
important.
it is important, yeah, I guess what I'm getting at is that when a corporation comes up with its mission, vision, values, there's always that silent number one: make money. That like that's not obviously we're here to make money, so like that's not part of the mission, vision, value statement. And I think that that does exist in crypto, but I think it's not all that. And I think there's a lot of people here for a lot more than just number go up. There's a lot of people
Yeah.
here for the values that come with that, whether it be like owning your own data, the ability for peer to peer transactions as a creator or whatever. I think there's a lot of values, and even Balaji talks about this with like the digital nation state. And so I think that what's interesting with DAOs is that we don't necessarily have that silent we must make money as the like number one mission. Now I'm not saying Aavegotchi or NFTs that isn't the silent mission. It may be the silent mission is just to make money. In which case, knowing that is important and being aware that that is, you know, part of the goals. But I guess the reason I say that is because there are other DAOs where that's not the goal. Where, like, I would say, like, Moon DAO, for instance, isn't necessarily a DAO to make money. They raise capital to do things, and they usually have a specific mission that they're on at that moment. So, um,
So it's
I
still a
guess
social DAO.
right, right. So yeah, it is. These are all interesting. We're building a lot more than just the future of the Gotchiverse. We're building the future. What our
Of the
digital
protocol.
nation state's gonna look like. This is a
What does
digital nation
Web3
state.
gaming look like?
And where do we exist in the larger ecosystem? Like, meaning,
Yep.
if we're going to a supernet, then we become the Gotchiverse or whatever. Like, that is its own
That's our
thing.
chain. That's our whole space now. Yeah.
But we're still Polygon. Like, in some sense, we're still Polygon. We're almost like a state that lives within the Polygon state or globe. Like, say Polygon is a globe,
We could see that.
and then we're a
We're a node in
country.
the Polygon network.
Right. And even if you like going to your own supernet or whatever does make you separate from the rest of the community, but that almost makes you just more of um an independent actor. It still makes you part of that thing, but it makes your economy bigger than multiple economies combined together. Would be, or at least I don't know, maybe not your economy, but your network. Let's put
Mm.
it that way.
Yeah, yeah. I would definitely agree with network. That seems to fit better.
I mean, it's funny in this field or whatever, like the way we talk about it as currency when in fact it actually is pretty tradable for data or information. Like you can pretty much trade the idea of currency and information back and forth. It's just that some information is worth more than others.
Some information is the value.
Oh, bye, Gerlene.
Thanks for stopping by.
Well, we didn't announce while she was
Ooh,
here.
ooh! Don't leave yet. Don't leave. Don't leave. One last thing. Word is there's a new merch store in town. Yes, announcements indeed. So, merch store in town here. GMI and Zimtimo. Limited time drops. The logo, the Zimtimo logo on the mug is fire, and I picked one of those up. And I got to get one of these GMI shirts. They're in the mail. I placed my order already.
I
Zombies
ordered
hooked it
mine
up.
already too.
They are coming. So, limited time drops. Not sure how long they're going to last,
Not
but
sure
they're
either.
there.
We haven't decided. These are basically going to be like the limited edition rugs, meaning one day you're going to wake up and they're not there. So, yeah, so the eyes are also an animation. I don't think have I seen the animation? I feel like
What
I got
animation?
rugged on this. But yeah, we've got the Zimtimo coffee mug, which I have been wanting forever. And then the GMI shirts come in like a bunch of colors. Like you can pretty much get this in almost any color you want. It's pretty tight.
So we're giving this one a shot. We're giving this storefront a try, and the plan is to keep things on rotation.
Yep.
So
We're not
if
going
you
to let
like
it be
what you see,
stale.
if you like what you see, grab. Something new's coming soon.
I don't think we're going to do any evergreens. I mean, I do love this mug so much that it's going to be hard to LE this. But I'll have mine.
We'll be sipping our tea, sipping our coffee. Sold out mug. So, get fired up for merch.
That's the public link. Oh, you mean like on Lens or Twitter or something like that? We're going to get it out there. This is actually the first announcement. This is the first time I dropped the link outside of the private GMI headquarters chat.
Yep.
So y'all are the
thanks for
first
coming
ones to get this. And don't worry, me and Gerline need to meet soon. We also are still working on getting those Halloween shirts. So we haven't forgot about that. That is in the works.
How'd you set up shipping? Is it free shipping? Cheap shipping? What's the shipping deal on that?
The shipping deal on what? The NFT shirts?
The Big Cartel site.
Oh, so the way it's set up is there is a nominal, like a small shipping fee on Big Cartel because a majority of the shipping fee is built into the product itself because
Nice.
this is all like it was a headache to set up. But
Doesn't surprise you, then.
The print on demand, like I pay for everything up front out of pocket. So when you order something, my credit card gets charged instantly. And then, there's a whole, like if you use Stripe, for instance, then it's got to go through Stripe, and Stripe gives me the payment whenever they're ready to. But basically, because we're not touching these items ourselves, when you order it, it's coming straight from the factory. It's being printed on demand, and the shipping is built into that. So I just made sure that it would all be covered in one spot.
Perfect.
Yep.
I'm stoked. I've already got my it's been shipped notification, so I'm stoked to get that. I'll be wearing it for next week. Surely it'll be here before Tuesday, so be sporting my GMI shirt and sipping
we should have
Zimtimo coffee.
Zimtimo mugs and T-shirts for next week. So I think we should be getting them Monday. So yep, I guess I've outed myself also as the customer service support. So when people are cursing that it's not working, it's going to be in my DMs.
Indeed.
And
I've trialed that out. It worked great.
Yeah, I mean that's why
I had some trouble reaching out to customer support, Zombie, and it was taken care of.
I put an order through from the website just to make sure that everything worked right and it didn't at first. So it's a good thing I did because I already had the first problem with myself and I was like, all right, got to get this fixed, got it all worked out. So yeah, GMI Zimtimo merch, get yours, I don't know what's going to be next. We might drop something else. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to keep it to myself. But we might drop a third item up there. But like I said, these are limited edition. At some point, we're just going to say, all right, that's enough of that, and yank them down.
Yeah.
And
rotate them out for funsies.
Rotate it out for something else. Maybe sometimes there's only one item. It's really going to be like whatever we feel like, whatever's happening, what's popping, We might put something up just for the weekend to be like, this is it, Get them. Bye, Gerline. And I guess we are 10 minutes past. Do we have anything else we need to...
I'm stoked about some of the fakes that are coming in.
Thanks for the alpha. Oh, speaking of which,
Yeah.
I mean that fake, man. Like, I mean the
Which
next
one?
the next one for sure. But
Which one?
which one?
Oh, the audio there? Which fake are you talking about?
Oh man. Hold on. I'm just gonna pull it up for you. Anyway, so do we have anything else while I'm pulling this up?
I don't. I think we covered a lot of stuff. I would like, if you do have input, if you do have thoughts on the DAO mission, vision, values stuff, hit one of us up, dump it in GMI, dump it in the DTF server. Like, there's a bunch of brainstorming going on. If you're brainstorming, let it out. Yes. The Gotchi Reggae.
Yeah, bro. This is awesome. Like, I sent that to Gerline right away. It was like, boom. Look at this.
Those are going to sell out.
Oh, yeah, this is tight. I love it. I guess we'll let this play us out, you know?
We can't hear it, by the way. Oh, yeah, I can. Quiet coming in there.
All right, man. So,
thanks for coming out tonight, friends.
hell yeah. And we'll get the RSS up. Trying to hit me in the DMs, he was like, bruh, I need to listen to this. Can't be watching it on YouTube. Ain't nobody got time for that.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
Very musical night. And we'll have zombie time on Friday.
Guys, I got a question
Miners?
for you. Gotchi Miners open. That could be fun.
Might be some alpha. Gotchi Miners for the GMI call.
I gotta try to mine a little bit more alpha here. Faze, you said this is the next one in the series. How many do you think you have planned? How many do you think you have planned? Maybe leak, maybe don't leak. Got my curiosity piqued.
Yeah, I don't know what I want to do for a fake Gotchi. I've been thinking about it. I've got a lot of music. I definitely want to do a music thing, obviously, but Gerline and I have been working on an animated series. So I'm like, do I want to pull her off of that to like do a fake Gotchi real quick, or do we want to go on this series and then like double
Lead
back
into the
for a
series.
fake Gotchi?
Circle back to the fakes.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking. All right, well, let's jump off the air so that we can get the real alpha from FaZe.
Top secret.
This is why you come in person and not listen to it later,
Great.
friends.
Join us next week.
This is why you gotta be here. All right. See y'all next time.